When you see Crazy Skull, that means that this is probably going to be a video about Conor Maniac Lunatic McGregor, who will be fighting Cowboy Cerrone in January. And I am going to tell you, sports fans nationwide, why this main event that's being heavily hyped and marketed and billed is going to be absolute trash. And you know why? Because all that glitters isn't necessarily gold. But you know what's golden? As I explained to you what I just saw on social media and why I really don't care about how accomplished Donald Cowboy Cerrone career really is and why he'll be facing off against pretty much a guy who's been a has-been. And his name is Conor Lunatic Maniac McGregor. So I came across this post as I was scrolling through social media looking to make the content for this video. And what do I find? A message from Cerrone to McGregor, I guess a little trash talking to him, might you say? Here's what it says based on the post. Let this soak in. This will be my 51st MMA fight, and I plan to add new numbers to all these lists come January 18th. I hold the all-time UFC record for wins with 23. I hold the all-time UFC record for finishes with 16. I hold the all-time UFC record for post-fight bonus awards with 18. I hold the all-time UFC record in knockdowns with 20. I hold the all-time UFC record with 7 knockouts via kicks. Okay, but who cares? Because realistically, Cowboy is coming off back-to-back TKO losses to Justin Gaethje and Tony Ferguson. The lunatic Maniac McGregor, who was last seen getting tapped out by Khabib, right? Remember that last year, October 2018? And Maniac McGregor hasn't won a real UFC fight since 2016 when he defeated Eddie Alvarez. So there you have it in the video. There's really nothing more that needs to be said. You have Cowboy Cerrone with all his accolades, all his accomplishments, but yet there's something missing. That would be champion. And you know why? Because I've watched Cerrone the last decade or so. He comes up small in big moments. Donald Cowboy Cerrone is the James Harden of the MMA world. He's the James Harden of UFC in terms of big fights, not main events. I'm talking about big fights where you can become the number one contender or you could become a champion. And Cowboy Cerrone has always failed. He's always come up short by some mishap, leaving his guard down. Kind of like that disappointing fight with Justin Gaethje, who had to yell at the ref to stop the fight because he didn't want to continue punching his friend. What kind of trash-ass main event are they giving us? So you're giving me a guy that suffered back-to-back TKOs, facing off against a guy who not only hasn't fought in over a year, but he hasn't had a win in nearly 3 years because he's a lunatic. He's a maniac. He's already earned enough money from his Mayweather fight and pushing that cheap swill liquor that he pushes, whatever Irish bullshit whiskey, which I'll never drink. Not even if he gave me a shot. But you know why? Because if I refuse his shot, he will probably sucker punch me like that man he did abroad. And of course, face no charges for, right? Clearly, his window has closed. Cerrone, it's a non-title fight. It ain't worth the hype. It's garbage. And that's all I've got. LexAnderson, signing out.